My name's Hershel Wade. I'm 80 years old. And many years ago, when I was a young boy growing up, I was real big into the Boy Scouts. Became an Eagle. I was a member of the Order of the Arrow. And one of the projects we had was repeating some of the dances that Indians did years ago. And one of them was a dance that they used real live snakes to perform one of their rain dances. So we decided we would copy one of those rain dance teams, and we ordered us some spread natter snakes from down in Florida, and we used them as our real live snakes to perform this dance. And we got real good at doing it, and the word spread that we could do this dance dressed as Indians. And a club over in Birmingham invited us over to do our dance, and they paid all of our expense and give us a good meal for doing this dance for them. And everything was going real good. We had a basket full of real live snakes, and we had a team of dancers dancing, and I was in charge of the snakes. I had to feed them and take care of them, and I sat with a basket in front of me, and as the dancers danced around, I would hand each one of them a live snake. They would hold them in their hand, and several of them did the real thing that the Indians did. They would put one in their mouth about halfway. And all the people in this club thought what we was using was artificial snakes. They didn't realize that these were actually live snakes that I was passing out to these dancers, until one of the snakes reached around and bit one of the dancers on the earlobe. And when it did, he jerked it and tore part of his earlobe off, and the blood just flew. And that's when everybody in that club realized those were real live snakes. And they was looking at about 20 or 30 snakes that these boys had. And that emptied the club. Women and men both were screaming and hollering and heading for the doors. And that's my story on real live snakes being used by Boy Scouts. Yeah, I had a sack that I would put these snakes in to haul them around with. So I went out to the barn one morning before school, and I got me a sack and I got me a snake. And I headed off to school. I was in the 10th grade in school, and my first class was just inside the door going into the back part of the school. So I took my snake out of my sack and put him inside my shirt. I had my shirt tucked into my pants, and my seat was just inside the door in the class I had, and I went in and sat down, and I had to sit up away from the back of the chair so I wouldn't crush my snake. And the girl that was in the desk right in front of me, she turned around and looked at me and said, why are you sitting like that in your desk? I said, well, I got a snake in my shirt and I don't want to mash him. And she said, "Oh, no, you don't have a snake in your shirt." I said, "Yeah, I do." She said, "Show it to me." I said, "All right, I'll show it to you." So I reached in and I got the snake and I pulled him out and I was holding him by the hand, by the head, right behind his head. And she said, "Oh, that's a play snake." And about that time, he shot his tongue out, the way snakes do. And when he did that, she screamed, "A snake!" And everybody in the classroom looked. And sure enough, there I sat right at the door with a snake in my hand. I emptied the classroom, but they all went out the windows on the first floor. And I was lucky that the teacher was out of the room with nobody in there but students. But when the teacher come back, there I was trying to get my snake back in my shirt. Of course, I had to go to the principal's office and explain to him what I was doing. And he said, "You know you can't do stuff like that." I said, "Well, I didn't know I was going to have to do that." So I got to take and put my snake back in the sack and take it home and come back to school. But that was one of my snake stories.